Good morning, everyone. Hey, Dano Aloha, how are you? Hey, Trademaker. Good morning. Juan, hola Juan. ¿Qué pasa? How's San Diego this morning? Ah, boy, here we are again. So, a bit of an interesting month end. We have a gap. Rollover coming too, right? Just when you get used to this contract, roll it and it's gone. It's a big gap here. And yesterday we had that spike in the last half hour of trading. That's not really much to consider. We're trading well underneath it, so it's kind of so AO. You were asking, how do I see that spike? I see it as a non-event now. At the time, what they did was Nvidia came out, earnings were good, so they jammed it higher, right? And it allowed the traders who were long here to get rid of their product in the after hours to people who were short. Now, what did I put in the room last night? Right when the market closed. What did I say? I said, look for a backfill. And that's exactly what happened. Usually after these big moves up, we backfill in Globex and allow the short sellers to come in. The overnight low is 69.41 and change. That's where the shorts are trapped. We have a B-shaped profile, which means accumulation from liquidation. Overnight inventory is 100% short. So when London opens, we test that bid. If that bid holds, later in the day you'll get rotation back up. If that bid doesn't hold, we'll come and test yesterday's low. Right? Today is month end. Right? Month end is like if you're running a bar tab, month end is where you have to pay the bill. And that's today for traders. Tomorrow is market maker month end, but today is month end for most accounts. Okay? So yeah, that price spike yesterday, it's a non-event right now because we're trading well underneath it. So we even opened well underneath the close. So that price spike, that's a non-event. It's an event for when it happened. To carry it forward is a waste of time. Simple, right? So let's go take a look and see what's shaking out here. There's the overnight low, right? There's yesterday's low, right where the open is. And if I go like this, you'll see the gap. There's the gap, right? Those are all the stops from that overnight. There were single prints, all of that stuff. You can see we have a B-shaped profile. That's just normal business, right? So when a market liquidates at the end of the day, usually at nighttime it goes up to get rid of inventory. When a market spikes up at the end of the day, at the end of in the overnight, it comes off, so traders are able to cover their short positions. Yeah, this big spike here, trade maker. You see this? Oh yeah, there's trapped longs here. Yesterday's point of control is here, Dano. So they're puking out into the bids of the short sellers who are covering. Pretty simple stuff. Market profile people, and I love them to death. They tend to overcomplicate this stuff so much. But you could clearly see the yesterday's cost basis is priced at 69.60. Tonight it's at 69.48. So anyone who was long here is selling, and the shorts who are trapped here, 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 they're sitting there and buying it back. Right? So normal business, right? Not much going on, right? So I did my balance zones, 47 half to 52 quarter, double them to 61 and 3/4 up top, 38 on the bottom. Yeah, that's just people goosing it at the end of the day, trade maker, who are long so they can get rid of their inventory. You're right. Thank you, Mohammed. A little bit of supply here, right? Some single prints here. It's an area of supply that I did not have marked on the chart, right? Good catch. So, what do we do? Right? Month end, what's your business plan on month end? Oh, you can trade. You don't have to not trade. Just take trades that are your A plus setup, right? And if you don't know what an A plus setup is, then don't trade. What's up, AZS? Exactly, Dave. Capital preservation, A plus trades, right? All right. So remember yesterday, how many people told us they blew up their accounts? Quite a few. Quite a few people were saying, I blew my account, I blew my account, and, you know, you can definitely trade, but just don't do stupid stuff, right? What is the guy from Red Foreman? What does he say? Don't be a dumbass, right? The '70s show, right? That is your that is your guiding principle. Don't be a dumbass, right? You only do business when the business suits you. Like right here, there's nothing to do right here, right? We got some cheap inventory that's being sold here, but look at how small the candles are. Look. Look how small those candles are. Is that business that you want to participate in? No, not right now. Let's see what happens when London opens, right? Now, somebody asked me to look at Bitcoin. I hope you guys don't mind. While we're waiting for this, I'm just going to go pull this chart on the old coin of bitterness. And they were asking me, JJ, do you think the bottom is in on Bitcoin? Okay. So here's the deal. Okay. Look how much time we spent above 73,000. And we came right back to this cost basis, right, of 2024, right? And we are currently in that cost basis. Is the bottom in? I don't know, right? I don't know if it is. But I do think it's going to take some time and go sideways to clean this out before we have a move like that again. That's what the chart is telling me, right? That's the only thing I can say. The way I trade Bitcoin is I don't trade it. I buy a little bit at certain levels, right? My cost average right now is around, I think it's around 75,000. So what I'd like to do is I buy a little bit when it dips, right? I'd love to buy some here in the 56,000 area, the 53,000 area, and we'll see if that happens, right? I buy a little bit and I put it away, and if the 0 and 1 mafia get their stuff together and it works, it works. If not, the money I lose on Bitcoin is not going to kill me, right? So now ES is starting to creep higher, right? Starting to creep higher. We know that there's going to be resistance up here, right? That's where the resistance is going to be. So let's see if we can take out that 54, because we've had a seller here, right, for a few hours. Let's see if we can take that out. So the offer is lifting above, right? The balance zone pinnacle is 47.5 to 52.25. Sorry, I just saw your message. And then you double it to 61.75, double it to the downside to 38. Right? So now we're creeping, right? We're taking the stops. Sorry, I had them in the wrong place. The upper stops is the top of that U high, actually. Excuse me. Let me just clean this up a bit. Right? So there's that stop. And let's see if they sell into it. Or if we run out of supply, we're going to go up into this box. Hey, Badir, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm trying to get my energy back this week. The old sawbones changed my medication, so it is. Hopefully, I get some energy here. The pleasures of getting old. To be fair, I never thought I'd ever get to 57. When I was in my 20s, I never thought I'd see this age. So it's all a bonus. So that seller is still there at 54, being annoying. All right, let's see. How did Leather Jacket Guy end up on the day? What did it trade it up to 195? See, on NVIDIA, it's been in this balance zone, right? And it looks below it, fails, and it looked above it. It closed under 196. So look for a retrace this morning, right? If they really have shorts trapped, they'll come and they'll start tickling this level here. That's where the last seller was. I should mark that. What we do, what I teach, it will work in Forex. It'll work in stocks. It'll work in any commodity because every market has what they call inventory and cost basis. So any market that has inventory, which is every single market, right? Name me a market that doesn't have an inventory, right? So at 198.99, basically 199, there is a seller, and they were front running 200 the last time we crept up here, right? So let's see, and then the next sellers are going to be here, 200, and then here at 203.91. So let's see. We could do a look above and fail. I don't know, right? It is month end. Be very careful on month end. Watch your whiskers, right? What's ES doing? Nothing. So that's Nvidia. Apple surprisingly doing well. There's going to be a seller up here in that 275 area, just so you know. The old Amazon rainforest gap down going sideways here. Right, there's a big chunk of volume under 189, so it's just on sale right now. Google, same thing. All these stocks have come off a little bit. Goldman. You know, I was watching this thing on Wall Street. Oh, you realize the joke, Spam? Yeah, I call it leather jacket guy because he's always wearing that leather jacket, right? Not bad for a guy who started a company in a Denny's, right? But Goldman, I was watching this Titans of Wall Street on Amazon Prime, and it was showing when, in 1929 when the market crashed, Waddell Catchings almost blew up Goldman Sachs because he had totally put all his money in this Goldman investment trust. It almost bankrupted the firm, right? Amazing history that company has. Meta 647.50. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm a finance history geek. You can learn a lot from the past. 647 Meta. Microsoft, see it's like it's holding on to 398. It's trying to hold that 398. You can see it's got its fingernails. I don't know if it'll hold that level. We'll see. Palantir, well, I mean, anybody who's holding Palantir can't really complain. I mean, especially if you bought it down here in the 50s, right? Silver, they had some issues at the exchange yesterday, didn't they? Gold, I'm not sure if that contract is right. And Musk is going to they're going to have some sellers here at 422.06. This is a stock that we bought a little bit down here in the 40s. We bought a little bit in the summer. My client, I told him, I read this Washington Post article on Corning, and Jesus, he did really well on that trade. He's still long. He's just holding it. Just amazing, right? And I was telling people, Corning, you got to buy Corning. They're like, huh, huh, huh. I was telling people at 40, 50 bucks. ASML breaking out again. And Oracle, no big thing. No big whoop. Oh, let's see. We went up into the single prints. Grabbed a little cheap little supply. Back down again. So we did a little stop run. Ran into the single prints. Took some supply. They sold into it again. Oh, it's cool, Raj. Yeah, Spam. I give everybody a nickname. It's an old trader habit. Everyone has a nickname. It's like we call Microsoft Billy Microsoft or Mr. Softy. Boy, this is slow. Slow month end. Let's see what happens when London opens. Any questions, you guys? No? Insults? You've had your coffee this morning, trade maker. The streams have been pretty good. We only had one idiot yesterday. It's been pretty good lately. You had two coffees. Uh-oh. Look out. Get out of the way. Oh, my goodness, my goodness. Thanks, AZS. Yeah, I've done that, eh? You make coffee and then you forget that it's there, then you go to drink it and it's cold. It's like, ugh. Oh. You on your fifth cup? Dano, that's not healthy, brother. I know that Kona coffee is addictive. It's almost 10 o'clock at night there. You're not going to be able to sleep. Oh, oh man. I'll load a couple more charts. Oof. It's a slow night in Walmart, boy. So when London opens in 5 minutes, we'll be looking at 69.50 and a half. Yeah, I used to drink a lot of coffee too, man, but now I limit myself to one, maybe 2 cups a day. You could tell when I've had 2 cups a day, I'm all hyper. That's very good, Spam. Have a good workout, brother. Discipline and focus. That's what saves you in this business. Well done. Is single print place where you expect supply? Ah, sure, I can explain it. No problem. So you get single prints to the upside and to the downside, cash flow. To the downside, good question, by the way. Really good question. So when you get single prints to the downside, when we took this 69.58 level, everyone who was trapped right there, do you see the low from this end period? Do you see how that low and that low perfectly line up? So anyone was long at night, the prior night, like, before the close. That low at 69.58, when we took that low, it triggered a bunch of sell orders. So there are trapped longs in this area. And statistics people call this a double distribution. So you'll get like a distribution and then single prints and then another distribution. And if it happens on the way up, it's a short position. If it happens on the way down, it's trapped longs, right? So basically market profile is taking that bell curve chart, right, and putting it and flipping it this way, right? So when you have a distribution here and a distribution here, and people are short, say this is the lower distribution. Let me just do it sideways, right? So if you have a distribution here and a distribution here, and people are shorting in here and the market rips up, then these single prints are a short position. But if you have the same thing, oh God, could I draw a straight line? Hello, right? So if you have a distribution here and then you get a drop and a distribution here, these people are trapped long and they will flood this area with sell orders. So when you get back up here, so say if you buy here, when you get up here, you can expect selling, right? So what it is it's a market profile thing that basically shows us where traders are trapped. Is there a way to supply and demand zones? Yeah, exactly, David. Great question. And since you guys are asking really good questions, it's time for me to tout the room. Please come to the tradingsyndicate.org and we'll teach you how to do this. So this is exactly what I'm doing. Do you see this candle chart here? Right? So if you go, check this out, right? If you go and draw a volume profile using a candle chart, you see how all the volume is right here in this blue area? That's the cost basis. So the cost basis is where everything is priced. So don't worry about supply and demand so much. But this is where your inventory is priced, right? So this is the cost basis. And you look for a high and a low. And then we hit that low, you go right back to that high. You look above that high, you come back to that low, right? Very simple, right? So this is your supply and demand zones, right? But we call them cost basis. And this is 2 times discount. And this is 2 times profit. And that's why we can know exactly where the market's going to go pending order flow, right? At nighttime when it's nice and slow, you can see where the orders, like, and how that helps, right? What's the practical aspect of this? Well, if the market's at 2 times cost basis, right? If it's 2 times what you paid for it, are you going to buy it here for a breakout or are you going to look for it to come back and do a little short, right? Conversely, right? This is the best discount. So you don't want to be shorting down here. You want to do the look below and fail at 69.38, right? You want to be going long, right, instead of going short. So this helps us, like how pilots have something called situational awareness, right? So you are aware of where you are and where the inventory is priced in the market that you're trying to make money in. Does that make sense, David? No, you draw it based on the back and forth. What you guys call consolidation or bracket, that's what I do, right? And we have tons of videos. We've got like 400 videos on how to do this, right? So if you come into the room, I think Steve's still running that $19 special, right? Nigel, it's really not that complicated. Single prints, right, tell you that there's going to be supply. So what's the practical aspect? Say if I go long here, right? And I know that there are sellers here. I'm going to sell here. Very simple, right? Very simple. Let's see, what other questions did I have? Right? So you just look for that back and forth, and that's cost basis. I have videos that explain everything, the business of it, why it happens, what's going on exactly in that area, right? One. You see it on all markets. San Diego wants you here again in penny stock. When was the last time I was in San Diego? God, it's been about 20 years since I've been to La Jolla. I miss it. One of my best friends still lives somewhere down there. I think he's in La Jolla. I have two buddies who live in La Jolla. They were both stock promoters, and and clients. He's in Solana Beach now. Hey, Lear, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, I love San Diego. Oh, what a place. I'm not much of a Los Angeles guy, but Newport down to San Diego, no complaints if you live there, my friend. Well, London is open and it's really not doing much, is it? Went right to where that seller is at 54, backed off. Ooh, no excitement yet. Hopefully it's a nice mellow month end and we just go sideways. That would be cool. Nice and calm. Yeah, it is a bit of a game of chicken, isn't it? Yeah, and nothing wrong with that, Raj. Nothing wrong with small profiles. It's nice to have a bit of a break. Hey, Lair, welcome. Welcome to folks on YouTube. I apologize, it's a bit slow. Not much to do, not much to trade. So one thing that retail really, really needs to know is when not to trade. And when you see these small candles, like a tight range like that, just leave that alone. Don't even bother with it, right? I don't know about that, Dave. I'm not an options guy, unfortunately, my friend. So my knowledge on options is very limited. I'm sure somebody else who's better equipped. I really, you know me, man. I really tend to stay away from the stuff I don't know, and I just, really concentrate on what works for us. Um, Especially at month end, I try not to get too smart. Yeah. A little humility at month end is the best way to preserve capital, right? Right. Which means, oh, by the way, any of you who have made money this month, you should have it out of your brokerage firms today. Right? You really should have, you should be asking for your wires today, and you shouldn't be trying to make more money today and blow up your accounts, okay? Right? Every week you should be taking money out of your brokerage firm. Brokerage firms are not meant to wire money into, they're wire money out of. Always remember that. Yeah, I'm not feeling that smart right now. I'm still waiting for this market to tell me what's going on, you know? I'm really not an options guy at all. So options, volatility, all that stuff, I just stay firmly away from it. Keep life simple. That's cool, Dave. Now the thing is, how do you trade that? Like, where's the trade? That's the thing, right? I don't know. I'm really, really blue collar and very, very simple that way, where I just, once I find something that works in this business, I just stick to it. Like, I know how to take a company public, I know how to sell stock. And after 12, 13 long years, I figured out this retail trading thing. It's been a journey, I tell you. Woo! So I'm like, just stick with what I know. Don't try and get too smart. And just leave the rest alone. Yeah. I'll let you guys deal with that. I just want to make my daily bread, you know? Yeah. Nothing against it. If you have a way to make it work for you, that's great. Right? If you have a trade plan wrapped around it, it's a beautiful thing. I don't, unfortunately. All right. Well, folks, not much is going on. Does anybody have any other questions or things they would like to discuss? No? CAs, yes. Have a good one. I'm going to shut her down pretty soon here, too. Yeah, no kidding, Trademaker. It's been that kind of a year, hasn't it, so far? All right, let's see. Oh, we got a bid. Let's see if we can take out 54. It's going to be probably the most exciting thing that happens tonight. Here we go. Not yet. Uh, I don't know how to look, Dave. Can you give me what do you want to look at? I'll be happy to look at stuff. I just don't know what to look for or look at. You know, like I don't even know what you're talking about. Sorry, I'm just got to be honest with you. Where do you take look below and fails? Oh, well that's easy. Okay, that's that question I understand. Uh, Back here there's a look below and fail, right? No, I'm sorry. Hang on. Sorry, maybe I'm a little thick this morning, Dave. Apologies. The LBF is there's there was one here, there's one here, there's one here. Oh, you want to look at yesterday and replay the charts? Uh, it was pretty trendy all day. So there was a look below and fail here. There was a look below and fail here, and there was a look below and fail here. Now remember, these are the levels from this morning, so I don't have yesterday's levels. Bit of a problem. But you know what you want to do, Dave? Why don't you schedule a one-on-one with me, and we'll go over what areas that you want to take a look at. I'd be happy to do that. How do I know that the price will start to reverse? What is my confirmation? Now that's a great question. The offer will start moving lower. Did you see how the offer came up and we started moving up? Now we're into this area of supply because we ran out of supply, right? So what happens is when you run a stop, it creates buying, right? So if you're looking for the move to come down, what you're looking for, you see how it looked above 57 and then the offer moved underneath? So on the next candle, which opens in 20 seconds, David, what you need to see are the offers moving lower consistently. Like, so the top of that candle, then the next top of the candle, and the next top of that candle, right? And that's how you will see a reversal. Reversals happen when the traders who are long here start price competing and putting the product on sale. It's like Walmart having a sale and competing against Costco and what other retailer. Do you understand that? And do I think the ES will flush down to 69.30? Oh, it could. It definitely could. Month end is nothing is guaranteed on month end. If we take out that overnight low, right, 69.30 is near the open of yesterday. I could see it. It could happen. But you got to remember, 9728, that overnight inventory is short. That's why we're having this move up, right? That's why we're getting this move higher, because shorts are covering. Right? So when you see the tops of the candles going, let me try and find an example of that. Right? Let's look at the open. See how we had a seller here? And then the seller moved down and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, then comes back up, hits that same sell again, and then lower and lower and lower and lower. Yeah, what you got to understand, Lear, is that they're already covering. Right? Nobody would be buying 69.57 right now and taking out those single prints if they weren't covering the short. Because London usually tries to get lower. London went down 3 ticks and then straight up. And we've taken out those singles. This is forced buying, brother. Remember, it's month end. It's month end. Don't forget it's month end. Right? Always be situationally aware of the business. And today is the day that if you are short, you got to pay the piper. 30 would be wonderful. But what if you got to cover 5,000 contracts? And there's nothing for sale underneath 52. Well, you're going to have to get in there, pitter patter, let's get at her, right? So I'm looking for 69.60 and a quarter as the market comes up. Right? That's where the inventory is priced from yesterday. Right? Oh yeah, I'm sure they're not happy, right? I mean, there was ample opportunity to cover a bunch of your shorts between 43 and 53 this morning. But hey, all the cheap supply is gone, right? So I don't like being short on month end. I don't think it's a smart business plan unless you see that there are sellers. Hey, GB, long time no see. How you doing? Right? So you got to watch this red line. The red line is the offer. Right? The red line is the offer. And if it's moving higher, don't short. If it's moving lower, that's your signal short. Right? Now, think about it, ladies and gentlemen, right? If you don't know about inventory and cost basis, where's the inventory of the overnight session, right? All of the inventory of the overnight session is underneath 56. So we're going to take this cheap crap here and try and sell it up here. Does that make sense? Remember, folks, it's a market. Don't ever forget that it's a market. And the purpose of a market is to distribute inventory. No matter what the talking heads on CNBC say, right? Oh, yeah, people get stuck short all the time, Lear. It's fascinating. And they repeat it over and over and over again. You know? It's like, oh, it's too high, I'm going to short. What are you, nuts? There's no seller. You know, in the old days, at least we'd have the good sense to wait until somebody was said, okay, there's a block for sale, or, you know, there's a big seller coming out of Goldman, or something like that, right? But now people just indiscriminately short. It's because they've got way too much money and no common sense, right? That's a bad combination. It's good for us, though, because trap traders are where we make our light. That's our livelihood, right? You know, we make our livelihood from trap traders because we take the other side. Hey, nice work. Well done, trade maker. Well done. Well done. Way to focus in on it. Well, folks, that's pretty much it, eh? No, you only have one cost basis, right? So Radu, if you buy 100 apples and you spend 10 cents, your cost basis is 10 cents. That's not going to change. Does that make sense? Always try and look at this in a practical manner, right? It because trading is so esoteric and they don't tell you, pretend this is like a chart of the sales of apples or oranges or whatever helps you visualize. Whatever helps you visualize. Right? So there you had the offer moving lower. Who was asking about the offer? Right? Offer lower, offer lower, offer lower. That's how you see retracement. Yeah, but you don't care about those people, right? So that's 2 times cost basis, and then just trust me on this. You don't need to redo your cost basis. Once you find a cost basis, stick with it. Unless the market moves up like 60 or 70 or 100 points or something like that. Just leave it alone. All right, folks, that's it for me today. Have a great morning. Stay out of trouble. Come join us at the Trading Syndicate if you want to learn how to do this. And we will be happy to teach you. Have a wonderful morning. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate you guys. Bit slow. And we'll see you at 9 o'clock. Bye for now.